guys, welcome back to She's Crafty mini paper pad series. Not using mini paper pads. This is sketch number 2. I'm going to be using Chit Chat Chowder by Jelly Bean Soup. This, I think, will be the hardest collection for me to use of the ones that I picked. The sketch is from Sketches in Time, I believe. I don't have my paper here with me. But I wasn't so sure what I was going to do with that photo in the right-hand corner, since I have 2 photos of my husband and our daughter when we were at dinner on vacation last August. We were eating later than normal, and she was rather crabby, so he was taking funny face pictures with her just to, make her smile and keep her entertained. Vacation was also obviously very different last year. We did not, we went to the beach because it was open air, and we went out to eat because, tables were so far apart and most of the time either on a patio or outside, but we didn't get to go on like amusement rides and stuff. So she was just crabby, and they were funny pictures of him trying to get her to smile. So I had to document these. I'm starting with the big strip of the chevron type paper, since that has the most colors in it, to try to tie everything else that I'm going to be using together. I did use the Tim Holtz Faded Jeans to ink my edges. I find that for me, I feel like that helps tie all the colors together when they're all inked in the same color. But I also don't care for when I cut paper and now all my edges are white. Like, okay, that whole paper, the green strip that I'm going to be using, for example, is all tone on tone, but then when you cut the strip, you have these very stark white edges. So I find that for me, inking helps with that as well. So ties it all together, covers up those white edges. But I'm going to stick fairly close to the sketch, except for that third photo. I do come up with an idea later in the video about what I end up doing with that. And I have to say, I know I'm only two sketches in out of the 10 that Shannon is doing, but I have found this very motivating, and I think it's because I just picked some paper. I have the sketches, they were picked for me. I can't hem and haw about it. I am doing them in order too, so I'm not, oh, well, maybe I'll put this sketch with these photos. Nope. I just pull out the sketch, pull out which collections I haven't used yet, and go, okay, I have these photos, and this can go together, and let's get going. It feels like it takes some of the pressure off for me, because I will print photos, and then they will sit on my desk for weeks on end till I find just the right sketch and just the right papers where, nope, this has just got to do it. So I think that even after I complete the 10 sketches that she is sharing with us, I may do something similar to this going forward, where I pick a collection, I pick out, however many sketches based on what the topic of the the paper, is. Like if I pick a birthday collection, I may not be able to do as many photos with a birthday collection because I don't have as many versus a more generic collection. But so I'll pick a number of sketches based on that, and then just have to print photos and go with it, because I've made more layouts this month than I think I've made in 6 months. Between this and some other things that I'm working on. But yeah, I found it really motivating. Like, I already have the next sketch laid out, and I think I know which collection I'm going to use, and I have an idea of which photos I'm going to use. So yeah, I found this very motivating. So thank you for that, Shannon. I needed this kick in the butt to get back kind of in the swing of things. I definitely have been in a scrapbook slump. I know part of it was the holidays, and not that the holidays for my kids or anything like that was particularly stressful, but I had a lot more cup orders this holiday season than I did last year, which was my first holiday season really trying to, offer my cups. So that was a learning curve for me as well. But I feel like this has really gotten me out of that slump. I'm liking the pages that I'm making. I know the last several videos I did before this, the pages were documented. There was nothing wrong with them, but they weren't my favorite. So here I feel like I'm starting to like my pages again, and it's all good things, right? All good things. I feel excited to record all the things. So, thanks for joining me as I get my mojo back and go on this little adventure. But back to the layout, I have my basics down there. And I have really learned that for myself, when I decide on something, it's time to just put it down. Like, say I have 3 of the 4 papers chosen. It's time to adhere the ones I have, because then it's like, okay, that decision is done. I can't go back and change it, and I only have to move on from here and pick one more thing. So that's kind of been helping me to get things done and get things moving. Rather than put a photo in this corner like the sketch called for, especially since my 2 photos in the left were rather large. They're 4x5. I love my husband to death, but he's so tall that I couldn't cut my photos down anymore without either it being way too close to our daughter's chin, or cutting the top of his head off. So I really should not just print them at 4x6, but I should print them at a designated size. But when I did print these out, I wasn't really sure what size I wanted them. I felt like 3x4 might be a little too small to see the silly face that they made. So yeah, I just trimmed them down. But every picture he's in, I'm always like trying to not crop his head out. So I ended up just doing a little cluster of flags down here with an embellishment instead of that photo. And it also, the sketch called for a banner, but that is totally not something I'm used to doing. Not that I'd never attempt it, but it's not in my usual repertoire. So I also felt like I didn't really have anywhere to put it, and that it would be floating just out in left field. So this cluster worked well. Since there are embellishments with this one, even though they aren't my favorite, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to find a few to make them work so that I don't end up with, I'm done with the kit and I have all these embellishments left. So I went, since we're sitting at dinner or waiting for dinner here, I just went with the cupcake because it's food. I wanted to get that fork and knife on there because, again, sitting at, waiting for dinner, but it ends up not making the cut. I couldn't find a place that I really liked it. I am going to use these words for my title. Again, use what came with the kit. Didn't have to get anything else out. I do cut most of the process out, though. I had a horrible time getting these off the backing sheet, and getting the little, like, insides of the letters poked out. It took me probably 10 minutes, and the color ended up lifting off the sticky part as well, so I had to re-glue those down, and I'm still fighting with my liquid glue. I don't have one at the moment. Every one I have is clogged. I've tried everything I can think of to unclog them. So I think I'm just going to have to give in and buy a new one. But yeah, it took me about 10 minutes to get that title off the backing sheet and attached to the layout. So I didn't want to make you watch all of that. So I pulled out some Tim Holtz tiny word stickers. It was a little bit snarky. Let me see, what is it? Let me remind myself what it says. It says, "Your crazy is showing." The full phrase said something like, "Your crazy is showing, you might want to tuck that back in," but it didn't all fit. And I thought "your crazy was showing" was fine. So now I'm going to add my journaling. I'm getting to the end here. I tell the same story I told you guys about, what they're doing and why. And then to finish off my layout, I use some black ink splatters. You're going to see that I mess around with my Heidi Swap Color Shine for ages. I can't get it open. And I know a lot of the time, like when you're trying to open a jar in your kitchen, you use a wet washcloth or whatever. So I used a baby wipe. I could not get it open. I think what I'm going to have to do is have my husband open it and then leave it in a place I won't knock it over. I don't want to say partially open because then I can't shake it, but maybe just not as tight. So I end up going for my Dylusions Black Marble. It's a lovely black, it just doesn't have the shimmer of the Heidi Swap. But that's okay, looks great on the layout anyway. I thought about going with a color, but I just felt like this needed black. That's why I did the black doodly border. I will come in at the very end after I put my Nuvo drops down for enamels. Here you see I'm shaking because you have to do that or you get those oil spots. But I come back in at the very end. I wasn't going to put any black Nuvo drops for enamels, but after I put the black ink down, I just felt like it needed those to kind of tie it all together. I really like how it came out. I knew this kit was going to be a struggle, but in the end, I really like how bright and fun it is and how the layout came out. So always happy when you're happy at the end of the day with something you created. So as per usual, I'm going to put Shannon's link down below, as well as the links to some of these products if I can find them for you. Some of them may be affiliate links, but that never increases a cost for you guys. So if you're interested, don't worry about that. It doesn't add anything for you. But I appreciate you guys watching this. Tell me what you think of my take on the sketch. If you're playing along, be sure to show me where, because I'd love to come see your take on the sketches. And I'll be back soon with the next installment of these, because I am so excited about these. I'm just loving getting all of this documented. So thanks for joining me on the journey, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.